This here's an article from the Daily Mail, or they call themselves the Mail Online when they do online stuff. And the thing is, I tend to think that so much of the time, these papers like this or these media sources like this are on Amber's side, and they tend to lean on Amber's side. But this article here is one of the best articles I've ever read against Amber Heard for many reasons. Let's get into it. By the way, it's not new, but it's totally relevant. Nothing's changed since it's been written. It's from June 4th, 2022. It's Amber Heard herself who has proved a setback for women. Let's see what we got. When the news was announced that Johnny Depp had won his defamation case against Amber Heard, I was out with a girlfriend. Let me make a note that girlfriend is used as a friend who is a girl, not an actual relationship. I say that because some people said Ben Chew called Eve Barlow Amber's girlfriend, but I think Ben was using it like this, as friend girlfriend. But okay, we both instinctively let out a little whoop. After friend texted me, am so pleased for Johnny, even my mother couldn't resist, Johnny has achieved herd immunity, she messaged. Fascinating. First of all, because none of us has ever met Johnny Depp, nor are we ever likely to. So why would we care about a middle-aged actor and his squabbles with his ex-wife? Secondly, because we are all women, and so, theoretically at least, we ought to be on Amber Heard's side. And yet, I don't know a single woman who is. All my female friends, without exception, even the younger, woker ones, took against Heard during the course of this trial, which I think is a great thing to mention. I keep trying to tell people one of the main reasons you might be on Amber's side is not because of facts, it's because you're woke. Won't get too into it, but obviously this person is on the same page as me with that. Even if they didn't all exactly sympathize with Depp, they were united in acknowledging there was much more to the case than man bad, woman victim. Depp is no saint, there's no doubt about that. But it's one thing to be a troubled individual with multiple substance and behavioral issues, and quite another to be an abuser. And that's up for debate about Johnny's behavior and how different is it from other celebrities and other people we know. But alright, it's actually better for Johnny to say he's not perfect, for people to say he's not perfect, because that makes him look better in what he does say. Unlike Amber, where she claims she's perfect and right about everything, it's not so believable. It's not so real. You can be a fundamentally decent human being and still make a complete and utter horlocks of your life, as Depp has proved. But you can also have the face of an angel and be very far from perfect underneath. That is what this trial reminds us. That is why it has caught the attention of millions, maybe even billions. It exposed not only Heard's somewhat tenuous relationship with the facts, but also the other side of the story, a side that in the age of MeToo is not often acknowledged. A universal truth experienced by many that sometimes a relationship can be so toxic it turns both of you into monsters, but also a far more uncomfortable truth, deep breath, women don't have a monopoly on victimhood. When Heard wrote that now infamous piece for the Washington Post about how she had been the victim of domestic abuse, the MeToo movement was at its height. The admittedly shocking experiences and admittedly revolting behavior of a small but significant group of people had lit a fuse that snaked all around the globe, reconfiguring attitudes to male-female relationships and characterizing men as predators and women as victims. At the time, many women, myself included, felt this was a dangerous generalization. Relationships are complex, people are complex, not everything is black and white, we argued. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty, we said. Nope, we were accused of victim blaming and shaming. Sounds familiar? There was only one acceptable narrative: a woman can do no wrong, all men are animals, end of. That was the climate in which Heard wrote her piece, so perhaps it's understandable that she felt empowered to make such damaging assertions, and that the Washington Post saw fit to publish them. The last thing she would have expected would have been for Depp to challenge her. Exactly right. She thought, look, Johnny, no one's going to believe you. I'm the woman now in this climate. You're the man. I'm going to get this no matter what. So, a perfect point. Having been cancelled, lost all his film roles, and marked down as a wife beater, presumably she thought he would just curl up in a corner and die quietly, allowing her to bask in the sympathy and solidarity of the sisterhood. And for a while, that was the case. But then he fought back, and the rest is history. Of course, it helps that he is a wealthy star. Many in his position are not, so don't have his options. Well, we forgot to mention, unfortunately, the UK case was a little bit of a hurdle there. But all in all, in the end, it doesn't look so great right now compared to a 6-week trial in front of the public with a jury. But the fact is that Depp now stands for every man who has ever been wrongly accused of abusing a woman, while Amber is not the only girl who cried wolf. She's someone who weaponized the MeToo movement for her own gain. That goes to the heart of why so few women feel empathy for her. Real domestic abuse victims struggle, sometimes for years, to have their voices heard. They suffer at the hands of their aggressors, often trapped in toxic situations through the lack of money, opportunities, or constraints of their culture. Yeah, good point. You always hear from Marilyn Manson accusers that it takes so long for a victim to come out. It takes 5 years, 10 years. Gotta move the statute of limitations out so victims can come out. But Amber came right out really quick. I mean, yeah, she came out and said it happened like a couple of years ago, but it didn't seem like there was any struggle. It certainly wasn't like 10 years or 8 years or something like that. For her to jump on the Me Too bandwagon under false pretenses feels like the ultimate betrayal, as did the fact that she lied about donating the proceeds of her divorce settlement to charity. She gives all women a bad name and in many ways undoes years of work building up credibility for victims of domestic violence, because now everyone will look for more facts and evidence. I mean, you have to. It's not totally a bad thing. However, I could see what does hurt real victims who are actually abused and do need that info to come out and do need to be believed. She claimed in her statement that the verdict was a setback for women, but that's not true. She's the one who has set back the cause for women. That, I'm afraid, is the hard truth she must now accept. And it ends there. Like I said, a great article, really well written. She said what she had to say about Johnny. I think it was necessary. It was somewhat similar to what Ben Chu and Camille said in the beginning of the case. Johnny's not perfect. You'll hear about drug abuse. You'll hear about, some things he did. But what you won't hear about with evidence and facts is any abuse on Amber. And that's it. That's the important thing. There's so many people these days spinning all this stuff in the air like a whirlwind about what Johnny did, how he looks, ED, all this crazy crappy stuff, but nothing about more evidence that Amber put forward of abuse, because it's not there. So I gotta remind you, this was from the Daily Mail. It almost felt like we were reading something else. But that's 1 point for them. I cover probably 7 to 10 articles a week on this channel, so I lose track once in a while myself, who's on whose side definitively. So anyway, 1 thumbs up here for the Daily Mail and Sarah Vine, whoever she is. If you're not subscribed here, consider it, and if you don't, I'll be sad about it, but I'll get over it. Done here for now. See you next time.